one small step for a man, one giant leap.
Hold the jokes, team. We got a lot of work to do here.
Played the game over a year ago. It was really cool, but it had some rough edges to it. This is the CRUST once more, and a much more improved, a much more enhanced New Horizon version, the beta. I've got it here, and we're going to explore this again together. And this is, of course, an active development game. It's not fully released yet, yada, 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 all that stuff. And this is the beta branch for the game. So we're, kind of bleeding edge here. If you want to play the New Horizon, as of recording this video, you have to get on the beta branch and stuff too. Those details are in the description. Okay, we're going to hit new game. The storyline has changed, the timelines, the balance, everything. They've added new events. They've added all sorts of new stuff. And I don't know exactly what to expect, but I know a little bit of what to expect. I have, I don't know, maybe 80 or so hours in this game. So I know a little bit about how we're going to expect this. And real challenge seems cool, but I think we're going to go test of strength here. I think I can, if I choose this difficulty, I think it's going to pressure me to play a little bit smarter than last time, yeah. I'm not ready for like the brutal try-hard crap right now. Let's get through the game first, and we'll see about that one later. So this is for experienced players ready for a serious challenge and a test of their skills. This difficulty setting is going to change things like payouts for contracts, the types of requests they make, the volumes and stuff that they want, whether they, it's going to change how much starting money we have, how much research we get, all that stuff is all rebalanced into here. Now, I will say, when I click this, it's going to start the post-disaster part of the story sequence, okay? If you want to see the full story, you got to go through the tutorial. They still have it locked with the tutorial. I'm not going to make you watch that in this video, but if you want to see a little bit of if you want to see how the story leads to this point, you can go and check out the beginning of my last playlist on this video. Just that first video, that first episode, the first 10 minutes or so of that will lead you to the stuff that we're missing here. I'm going to give you a Cliff Notes version of what's going on here. And the Cliff Notes version it's way in the future, of course, and Earth is quite dependent now on the commercialization of the moon. Everything's kind of coming from there. All our building materials and all sorts of stuff for the survival of Earth. A lot of companies are now very much ingrained, it's all very ingrained into the culture of the Earth, is shipments coming from the moon. And then stuff happens, okay? A big explosion. It's presumed a big meteorite impact came in and kind of blew everything up. And now everything's into disaster, mayhem everywhere. Thousands of people who are stationed on the moon are either dead, missing.
This is an emergency broadcast. We have detected an imminent asteroid collision with the moon's surface. We are currently assessing the extent of the damage and the number of casualties. At this moment, our teams are working tirelessly to restore communication with lunar outposts. For those still on the moon, be aware that we are mobilizing all available resources to assist you. Conserve your energy and ration your supplies until further notice. Additional information will be provided as the situation unfolds. Stay tuned for updates. Over and out.
I repeat, CRUST has declared a state of emergency of the first degree. Commercial shipments and cargo landings are prohibited. All complexes, resources, and facilities on the moon are now under CRUST control. All remaining facilities should switch to emergency frequency and report their status. Conserve energy and resources, and await further instructions.
So CRUST is essentially this main organization that is enabling this very cheap, very economical travel to and from the moon. And it would be in that opening sequence there. So they're kind of they're not necessarily in charge per se, but yeah, kind of, because they control the gateway, if you will. So they are saying that everything is kind of under control. Everyone's locked down until they can assess all the damage and stuff. We happen to be a sort of a third party that's come in, and we were going to start working with this organization here, this Evermoon corporation here that's here. But then this happened. So we're kind of left stranded here, but we have very minimal working equipment, and we need to build ourselves back up. Okay, now you have the Cliff Notes version. Again, if you want to see a bit more in depth on that, I'll link it down there, but it's too long to like incorporate into this video right now.
What's happening? Director, can you hear me? We're receiving reports that a meteorite collided with the moon and the state of emergency has been declared. Director, confirm you're on the line right now.
Nah, I could leave her hanging for a little bit here. So we're going to start with getting 6 solar panels laid up in here, and we're going to get some batteries put in over here too. And I think I'm going to leave a little bit of space for that. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 batteries. That should get us going for the initial. And then we're also going to connect a power pole to all of this. Let's say the poles are in line with these other poles here. So we'll leave this kind of about right here. Should be good. I could back it up a little bit too, though. I think it's probably all right to just back this up. We'll go about here with it. And then we're going to connect all of these solar panels up just one at a time, wire these up. So electrical wires cost money. Okay, and so do belts. You'll see that later. Certain things cost credits, and we're starting with under 100,000 in this difficulty. And most stuff is going to cost resources, though, not credits. So credits are not something that we necessarily have to spend all the time, but it's incredibly valuable. We want to do that. All right, I think I've left her hanging long enough.
You could have done it more quickly and spared me the worry. Director, there's still no signal from the personnel of the base. I'll try again, but my hope is dwindling. Robert, come in. Robert, do you copy? Robert, damn it, come in. There appear to be no survivors. I'm glad you were on the orbital station when the collision happened. I suggest you stay there as long as possible. We should try to hold out until logistics with Earth are restored. Start with electricity. We still have resources and functional drones. That should be enough for a few solar panels and batteries.
Okay, yeah, so I'm getting the solar panels and the batteries right here.
Seismic activity. The meteorite impact occurred on the far side of the moon. We're lucky it happened so far away from our mission. But the strength of the blast wave raises a lot of questions.
Is that all the head of the research department can say? Somewhere far away there was an explosion and we don't know the cause?
Need to prioritize this poll, otherwise they're not going to send power to those batteries right now.
Because scientists are working with proven facts, not speculating on fragmentary evidence. Much more data would be needed to reach the conclusions.
So right now I have it set to where I have to click to progress the dialogue. And that is so that I can talk to you. But I can also do this and let it flow on its own if I want to as well.
We have electricity, but our resource reserves are almost depleted. We need to restore production as soon as possible. Let's start with repairing the elevator to gain access to the underground level.
Yep,
Then build a charging station for the drones. Make sure that elevator and charging station...
Okay, so I'm going to skip a lot of the main stuff. If they're just explaining what to do, then I'm going to skip it. But otherwise, I do want you to incorporate... I want to incorporate the story into this because I think it's pretty cool. So we need to go down to the underground now. All I've done is set up solar panels here, batteries. I did 6 of each, and then I have a charging station so the drones can charge off the electrical grid that's going through here. At the top of the screen, we've got our current power grid, and right now it says we have 2 different grids. So let's take a look really quick and see why that might be. And it seems like everything is hooked up, so that's not the case. The reason why we have 2 different grids is because the underground also has power poles. So what we need to do there is just hook up everything to the tower, or hook up everything to the elevator, and that will connect the grids into one big grid.
I see that we have a module to produce smart concrete. Director.
Okay, so I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go in and skip a lot of the stuff, but eventually I want to hear it. So we have a couple of different machines to look at here. First is a pressing module. This is how we create smart concrete, at least at the moment. This is how we create concrete. It's basically just taking the regolith that's around, there's a lot of it, and just pressing it down into concrete bricks, basically. We have it. This machine here is going to allow us to reconfigure drones to become drillers, and we're going to want to go ahead and do that. So we're going to hit this button here, and the drones are going to come down the elevator and get themselves configured with the proper tools to become drillers. I'm going to go ahead and start mining once they open it up for me.
We have smelting furnaces, But to start producing any resource, the relevant director...
Yep, I'm gonna get through that. So we have to extract iron oxide, and we have to extract silicon oxide here too. So we're gonna go drilling. I'm gonna put 2 of them on the iron and 2 of them on the silicon right there.
Objective achieved.
There we go.
You can now watch mining...
Now, there's also there's only one just sitting there doing nothing too, because, oh, I did put 3 on there, never mind. We also can mark a lot of this stuff to be drilled out, and especially in this difficulty, we're going to want to make sure that we're kind of constantly expanding, because we're going to run out of resources and stuff. The amount of resources available to us is going to be smaller, I believe, with this difficulty, just because they're just not going to appear as abundant. So we'll have a number of resource veins to tap into, but they won't be as abundant, I don't believe, as they would be in a lower difficulty. So in other words, we're going to want to make sure we're constantly expanding.
Extract the oxides, and working drones deliver them to the smelting furnace.
Yep, that's what we're doing here. So let me just kind of mark a lot of this area here to be drilled out, and they'll do it on their own time here, as long as I keep them as drilling bots. They'll just go ahead and do it on their own time. All right, there we go. So it wants me to produce steel, which I'm doing. This one here, we're basically taking the iron oxide from here, and it's bringing it over. It's bringing it over into this smelting furnace here, which is going to take the iron oxide and create steel with it. Then we have the silicon oxide. So this is basically the silicon that's over there. They're going to take that same thing. It's going to convert that silicon oxide into silicon at a ratio of 9 silicon oxide for 3 silicone to be used every minute. We can see details like average efficiency of this machine's running over its time, over time, as well as its current efficiency here. So as long as it's running, its current efficiency is nearly 100% usually. And over time, how long has it been, dormant? It's been sitting here a while, so this number will go up over time. Okay, so you've pretty much been caught up on all the things that are going on over here. But what about the top of the screen here? Well, we've got our current batteries and our current output capacity. Every battery has a set output capacity that it's able to do. So if I need a whole bunch of machines to operate at night, I might have the charge built up to last the night. But if I need more power into the system, like instant, then I won't be able to exceed whatever our batteries can output. Of course, if it's daytime, then clearly that's mitigated by current generation as well. But we are only able to charge the batteries with spare power. So that is why we have a plus 61 on the grid right now. That's how you read this. So batteries full charge level and our balance in power. We don't have to worry about water storage or oxygen storage yet. We don't have any people on our base. We currently have 12 drones, no people, no colonists. And then we have CPU power. We'll talk about more about that later. And then there's reputation, which is important for trade. We're going to do a lot of that. And then we have science production, which is going to start once I get the silicon challenge completed here. So let me just kind of maybe take these guys off of that and see if I can just get them all on silicate right here for now. I'm going to get an extra carrier for that too. So basically put everybody on silicon right now, and so I can get this thing done. The faster I can get this thing done, the faster I can start research. If you're playing in sandbox mode, none of this stuff is locked for you right away. You can begin research immediately. However, you will start having to research this yourself, I think. So we're kind of starting with a little bit of research done because this machine exists. So it's not a huge deal. It's a very small amount of research, and it doesn't take any time at all, but just something to note there. How Sandbox changes things a little bit for you. There's a lot of resources that we're going to be producing. Some of them are getting pretty complicated.
Director, you can never have too much smart concrete, so it's worth spending time to produce it.
Yes, he's talking about the pressing module right now. It's what I was just already talking about earlier too. So we have this pressing module right there that's taking care of all of that. It's going to get the regolith into this container because these carrier drones are going to go around and bring it in here. So sometimes you'll see them drop stuff off right here. That's how. Okay, so as soon as this little tutorial sequence with smart concrete is done, I believe that is when I get to start research here. I'm going to go ahead and continue to expand power because we're going to need it. So I'm going to grab the power pole is connected here. It goes this way. So I'm going to go one more here, and then I'm going to start moving my way back. I'm going to go about that many for now. And I don't know if we'll get them done in time. Let me just prioritize 2 of them if I can. And then we're going to want to go like that to zip them all the way around like that. The idea is to fill the batteries as much as possible during the day, of course, so that way we can last through the night and not have to worry about like power going down and stuff. And of course, we're using our own resources to build these. So each one of these has a resource cost: 2 steel, 4 silicon, 1 smart concrete. Takes care of that. So as I build these, it also dips into my smart concrete that I have to build up to. This isn't just produce 30, it's you have to have 30 in storage. So I basically have to wait until this thing is nearly full. I could alternatively build another one of these and produce even more of it, which might be a good idea in the short term, actually. So why don't I build another one? Shift this one maybe to here. And then we could, does that cost? It doesn't cost any concrete. It does cost me components though. Then this will cost me 2 concrete to build. I think I'm gonna hold off on building that though. All right, good. So I think now that we've got this sorted, I'm gonna take these driller bots and I'm gonna get them focusing more on the surroundings instead of the silicon. So we'll go 1 on each deposit, and the rest of these drillers will now occupy their time with this stuff. I can make this a priority if I want to as well, and then they will focus drilling the priority area first. So I'm gonna have them open this area here up, and let's say I want them to open this area behind the elevator too. The real estate around the elevator is pretty valuable, so we want to open that up just a little bit more as well and go that way with it too. So they'll prioritize working on that stuff.
Director, we're getting word of supply shortages from almost everywhere on Earth. The explosion cut off most of the supply channels from the moon. Millions of people are in need of resources, and we can satisfy that demand. Supplies used to run through the contract system, but it came to a complete halt after the explosion. We might be able to fix that.
Cool. So this is, you haven't met him yet because the whole story skip thing. That's Ledger. He's kind of our business guy. And we'll actually see what he looks like and stuff later. But essentially, remember, everybody's kind of like the culture of Earth and how everybody kind of gets their resources now is sort of, they kind of grew dependent on the moon a little bit too much. And so now with the moon shut down, we're getting shortages. And that's what this is about. So we need to get the contract system up so that we, as a private organization who is on the moon, can provide for that need and maybe make some sweet profit from it, yeah? There we go. All right, so we got a second one up here, but we need to connect it to the power grid. So let's just go ahead and do that really quick. All right, that's going to use more battery power, but hopefully it means we can make smart concrete a little bit faster now, too, if I can get these guys to... Bring it in here, guys. Bring it in here. There you go. Now it's going to start pressing it just a little bit faster. There we go. Now it's going to become nighttime now, so we're not going to have generation.
Well, that's a start. There should be enough smart concrete for the first time.
Good. So we have 75 days worth of power built up in those batteries. I think we're fine. Yeah. So the day-night cycle for the moon, the full day cycle for the moon is about 28 to 29 days-ish, Earth days, right? So about a month. So nighttime is about 14 days. So if you have 14 days worth of power, then you're good for the night, essentially. Unless you constantly expand while you're drawn from it. CRUST representative is attempting to contact us. The company solely owns the space elevator. Such people cannot be refused. So that's what CRUST. So I was saying CRUST is kind of like they're not the main people in charge of the moon, but they are responsible for economic travel to the moon. So that kind of puts them in charge. It says, Director, my name is Clyde Draper. I represent the interest of CRUST. We are engaged in the study of surviving bases, and your facility stands out for its potential. It is in our mutual interest to restore resource extraction and production as soon as possible. We are ready to provide you with scientific resources, but in return, we expect your support when the time comes. When will it be needed? It's amusing how confidently Clyde speaks about future collaborations. Yeah.
Well, let's not waste any time. Professor, you prepared a research plan before starting the expedition, didn't you?
Absolutely. First, we need to increase production. We have smelting furnaces, but we need extractors and refineries to extract the oxides. Direct?
Okay, pause. It just gave me the research system, so I'm going to take a look at it. He's going to explain a lot of this. I'm going to do it instead, so I'm not going to bother with him. So we're just going to cancel that out and skip through all the little pop-ups here. So the research tree is divided into 3 fundamental sections, or I guess you could say fundamental, okay, engineering, and social. In each one of these, the trees have been rebalanced since the last time we played the game. Notably, upgrades are kind of attached to their main unit. So now we can research the upgrades if we want to right next to these things instead of having to go through the tree for them. But there are sometimes prerequisites. So for example, here, we need to have vehicle hangars and build vehicle hangars before I can do this one. You'll notice there are 3 numbers next to them. The blue, orange, and green represent the different types of science. And that daily income of science comes from Earth at the moment, from labs on Earth. But eventually we'll be able to get people here and generate our own science as well. Most of our science income is also temporary. So for example, here, CRUST research, we're getting 140 a day, but that's only going to last another 520 days. So after 520 days, this baseline research income that we're getting is going to go away. We're going to be adding a lot more research to this as we play. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get the extractor. This is going to let us pull things out of the ground without having to have the drones go over there and manually do it. I want to also then get the single regolith refinery and then the Mark 1 belts and then finally the ore detector. And that's the order I'm going to do things in. You can reorder things through here if you want to. So for example, if I want to take the ore detector and put it on top of the belt, I can just do that. And everything will hit in the order with all 3 types of science working simultaneously. You'll see what that means in a bit. If you're not familiar with the game, you'll see what that means. Anytime time is passing and science is being wasted, I'll get a notice up here. So I might frequently pause it and fix that kind of thing too, because research is very good. And if we're going to play at a little harder difficulty, we want to make sure that we're not wasting any science. Definitely not wasting any science. Okay, so the initial steps here are kind of done. We need to last through the night, and it looks like we're going to have about 25-ish days, 20 days-ish. It kind of fluctuates depending on power load. So when both of these machines are running, that's when they use the power. So when it's sitting here doing nothing, it's not using any energy. But when it begins to run, when it begins to process, that's when it begins to consume 14 energy. All right, the extractor is done. We can add some more things to it if I want to. I think it serves me... I think it's a good idea to sprint to multi-regolith refinery. I'd like to stay on the singles as like as few days as possible, but the problem with this is it's very expensive. So it means sacrificing other things. Definitely want to work towards it though. So I'm going to place this on there instead. I'm also going to lower the volume of the music because some of these songs are very loud. Okay, good. So we'll last through the night. It's going to be nice. In the meantime, while we're lasting through the night, our driller bots are getting to work. Well, yeah, drilling. And I probably want all 5 of them too, because we need to clear this area out fast. One of the things we're going to want to do, and the map is big. It's big. You got a lot of space to work in here. And there's a lot of these resource veins, and we need to find them so that we can tap into them. So now that we have extractors, I can go ahead and lay that in. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes these veins are big enough to fit 2 extractors on. So we want to kind of see. So all the way over to the left here is there. We can go 1, 2. Looks like this one might. Yeah, this one's big enough for 2. So if I go 1 here, I could also
Don't
go
forget that extractors
here.
need electricity.
I'll get you. Yeah, so I'm able to do 2 on this. That's a very good thing to know. So I'm going to save this one. Let's build this one first. And then we're going to want to come over here and see if we can get another one on this one too. Let's say right.
Research complete.
Okay, we got research complete for the single regolith refineries as well. So this, wow, this vein, the graphics for this vein are not quite where it is it? So looks like we might be able to go 1, 2, 3. No, I think we can only get 1 on this. Let's see, right there. 1, 2, 3. It's just not gonna let me have 3 on this one, I don't think. If there's a spot for it, I'd like to know, but I don't think there is. I think this one is a single. Because it's gotta have, you have to have all 9 squares on the deposit, and then it has to light up. 1, 2, 3. You gotta be able to go 3 over, or 3 down. So, from here. Yeah, from here, 1, 2, 3. Now, it's only good. This one's going to be a 1. Okay, so because this is 1 and the placement doesn't matter as much, so we'll just place it there. All right, so we have the single regolith refinery research done now. So these are 3 engineering. They take only engineering, right? Only orange science. And that's good because we're not producing any of the other ones now. but we'll eventually start getting the other ones, and so it's not a bad thing to queue up other things we might want. For example, I would really like this pillar upgrade, so I'm just going to pop that on there just in case we start getting blue. And then I'm going to also get the license system on there too, just in case we start getting some green signs as well. Because that's going to happen as we expand, as we go. That's going to happen. Okay, in order for these things to run, we need to expand the power grid to them. So I'm going to run this in a straight line from here. It's not actually a straight line, but it's straight from where the elevator is, I guess. And I'm going to put this right here. And I'm going to expand this power out. I'd like it to be here, but it's not going to let me put it there because it's too close to the rocks. I'd like to get that cleared then. Let's get this, let's clear the selection and get them to focus on just this area here so I can get that where I want it to be. All right, drillers are going to just focus on this area now. We got the extractor up on that side, and then they're going to go ahead and do this one over here as well. In the meantime, the driller bots are still digging into it. So I'm going to go ahead and take him off of this and take him off of this. And now they should focus entirely on this little area here. And now we just need to connect them to the network. That pole's done. That's good. And I'd like them to get just a little bit more done on this side. Come on, little buddies. You can do it. Just clear this one right here. It's kind of like they're doing everything except that one. Okay, right here. Yeah, give me that. And then from there, I can connect it directly to the machine there. Okay, and then I just want that to be prioritized on the build. And then we need to do this side as well. Same thing, take the power pole from this. And I'm going to bring it, I think the regolith refineries, I kind of want them to be about here. We're going to destroy them fairly quickly. They're not going to stick around too long, but they'll have some lifespan in them because I kind of have to, I'm reliant on them in the beginning. I'm going to put this here. It's probably going to get moved anyway. And you do not get a full refund when you tear down these wires and later conveyor belts. You do not get a refund. Or you get a refund, but not a full refund. So the more you can limit how much you redo things, the more money you'll save overall because you're not getting all of it back when you tear them down. Anything that takes resources, you get the resources back for it. But if it takes money, you're only getting a partial refund. Okay, so that will hook that up to power. And then when this pole's done, which is happening right now, this will start operating. And then these guys will start pulling resources from this and bringing them over to regolith refineries, which is where we want them to be.
Data that the extractors have started mining. Now, finish the research and build 2 regolith refineries for producing iron and silicon, respectively.
Let's open this up a little bit, and then I want you, at least in the beginning, to focus on opening this up first. Okay, so my drillers should be taking care of this first, and then opening this up. And then I want to put we're going to put the regolith refineries closer to these things because I don't really want to, like, I'm not going to depend on them forever. So it's, the placement is not final, if that makes sense. Let's maybe not have, whatever, let that be a thing. I was going to take this job away from drilling into that, but it's fine. I can wait. We're in the middle of the night now, still have plenty of time left for power. So we're not going to run out of power. We can keep producing, hopefully. Except we don't have anything being processed, so that's the problem. Let's get that fixed. So the first thing I think I need to process, let's actually have 2 drillers over there. Yeah, let's have 2 drillers over there now so that we can keep silicon production going. I need silicon to constantly be produced so I can keep making batteries and solar panels. We'll focus on the iron first. So for here, we're going to want the single regolith refinery. All this does is it takes the regolith that this thing is extracting, and it's going to parse through only one resource at a time. In this case, we're going to choose iron. There's also another one that goes through the side. That's slag. These machines being pushed right next to each other allows us to efficiently move that slag through as sort of a pass-through. So we can hook that up because we can use that slag later. It's actually quite valuable. So for making concrete and everything later. So why don't we start our endeavors here by processing this, I guess, like right here. And we'll start with just one machine, but I'm going to probably get to...
Single regolith refinery extracts the necessary oxides from the regolith by thermal treatment. The process leaves slag that can also be used in production.
Yep. So we're also going to belt it to here. When we're placing belts, it gives me a preview of the cost, but I don't have to build it. It's free until I hit build. And then I'm locked in, I pay, and I do not get a full refund if I delete it. So if you see me in the future, reason I reiterate this, if you see me in the future putting a belt in a really weird way, it's like, why is he going way over there? It's because I'm trying to think about how I want to use that in the future, and I'm trying to lay that belt in for the future, okay? So I get comments about this stuff. I just want you to know, sometimes I do things thinking about like 10 videos ahead, okay? It doesn't necessarily make sense now, but it will hopefully make sense later. Okay, in this case, though, that's going to get deleted anyway, so I'm keeping it short. We're going to go over here, Regolith Refinery over here. So we're going to want to process, on this side anyway, we're going to want to process the... I don't know if I really need to line these up because the elevator's in the way. I don't think it's important to line these ones up. So I'll start with just one right here for now. And we'll belt to... Yeah, we'll belt to this one here for now. Come on now. You're not gonna let me? Come on, right there. There we go. And of course they need hooked up to power as well. So we'll just hook that up there and hook that up there. All right. Now these will do all 4 types of the resources and the regolith and stuff, but we still have to tell it which one to do. So we're gonna tell it to do iron on this side, and we're gonna tell it to work on silicon on this side. Each of these deposits have a mixture of all 4, as well as water sometimes. So you can see there's only 39,000 units here. That sounds like a lot. It's not. There's 39,000 units in this deposit. Most of it is silicon, but there's still some iron, some titanium. There's some of that stuff in here. And with the single regolith refinery, we basically lose the other elements when we target only one. So these machines, you want to target whichever one you're extracting from. In this case, 56% iron on this one. Until we get to the multi-regolith refinery, which is what this is, then it will take and process all of that stuff. And we don't lose any of it, which is great. So I kind of want to sprint to this, even though that's kind of an expensive decision. It's a little bit of, I don't know if it's risky, but I think it's an expensive decision to try and do that. So we're working on a solid source right now. I can't even select this until that happens. So that is what it is. Let me get to probably landing platform. I'd like to make everybody a bit faster, but I think landing platform is definitely where I want to go here next. So I'll put that on the list. Now, landing platform takes blue science. We're not getting any of that yet, but we will be getting it as soon as this tutorial process starts working us through, and it gives me access to the market system and stuff. Okay, so for this, we have smelter here, and we have a smelting furnace here. I could belt this all the way over, but why? I don't want to do that. So in this case, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to add the smelters over near this, and we're going to smelt it in like really close by, because these are mostly going to be these are mostly temporary anyway. Although maybe I could have the iron one be more permanent. It's not quite where I want it located though, so nah. It's not permanent enough in the location for me to care about that. Let's put this right. Let's put this right here. So I'm gonna make these furnaces here instead. That way I can make the belts a little shorter. Yep, we're just gonna have it. Okay, that's not how I want that. It's going the wrong direction. Sometimes this tool is a little finicky with me, and I fight with it sometimes. I think it's because I like to click really fast, and it's meh. All right, so we're gonna have you go that way and then there. And if I need to expand this a little bit, I can bring another machine this direction and another smelter on this side. And then same thing here. I can put another machine on this side and another, smelter over here. But that's how I want that to be laid out. So we're gonna do it like that. And then what we're gonna do, since these things aren't really processing anything right now anyway, we're gonna go ahead and delete them. We're gonna get all the resources for this so they can use these resources to build the other two. So I'm moving these things out of the way. If I do that, I can also eliminate these power poles.
Refinery is a mono refinery that can only produce one type of oxide at a time. Be sure to select the...
Yes, I know. I'm gonna delete these power poles too. Okay. So now that we've built those things up, we now get some science from CRUST. They're giving us fundamental science, energy, engineering, and social science points. For 90 days, we get 60 a day. So it's a total of 5,400 science. It's not a lot, but it's enough to get us those technologies that I've queued up. So now what you'll see in the research system is that even though there's one after another, right, they're not sharing in the amount of science, so they're all operating at the same time.
You heard him, Director. Now we have a steel production chain, but we can increase its efficiency by connecting the modules with conveyor belts.
I'm already ahead of you, Alice. We're going to put
Use
this
the conveyor tool and connect the extractor to the refinery and smelting furnace.
there. I know. We're going to take this and I think we'll connect it with this one. Okay, so all of those are now connected and they will begin to process steel here and silicon here. Good. Now, the last thing I want to do in this area is get storages for these because they can only hold a limited amount inside them. So I'm going to say I want a storage. Let's put it in line with the bay here. I wanted it here, but it looks like I'm going to have to go one. Okay. Please get rid of this. Somebody drill that. It's like, I don't know why I couldn't see the fact that there was something there, but yeah, there's something there. All right about here is where I wanted that storage, so we'll place you there. And we're going to go ahead and place this one. I think iron probably will end up getting produced over here at some point, so maybe this storage will come in handy as a buffer. The small storages aren't really all that useful long term, but maybe as a little bit of a buffer. I'll place it here. And then we just want the iron to go into that side. And we're going to have the silicon go in over on this side, like that. Okay, and then this holds silicon, and this holds iron, steel. I will regularly call steel iron. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why. It comes out of my head. It comes out of my mouth from my head, okay? That's just how it goes. There we go. Okay, so CRUST is now providing us an additional 60 science and both fundamental and social for another 90 days.
CRUST's tasks require significant resource investment, which means we need to seriously expand our manufacturing capabilities. Let's start producing components.
We will. First, I'm going to make sure we're expanding because we have more equipment now, so I want to make sure we're expanding our battery capacity as well. And I think maybe we'll start a second row over here like this. That's a lot of batteries, but I'm hoping we can handle it.
We need titanium to manufacture parts. Find titanium deposits among the regolith using an ore detector to seriously expand our manufacturing capabilities.
Yeah, we're going to be doing that. I already researched it, so I'll just have to build it now. Sun's going to come up, and I'm hoping I have the resources for this. On the right side of the screen, you can see how much I currently have in stock of everything. So I do have a little bit of concrete, but it's the iron that I'm missing now. So let's go ahead and take this off the belt. We'll just drop that down on the ground, and now the drones can access it. The drones cannot pull things off belts, but they can pull things off the ground, so that's what we'll do there. With one more iron, they can build this storage, but I kind of feel like they should build the storage, just so I don't have to constantly empty the damn belt. Okay, now it says we're wasting science, right? At the top, it says we're wasting science points. Why? Because we're receiving this science every day, but we're not currently using it. So if you don't use it, you lose it. That's why we're wasting it. So nothing here takes green science. We need to add something that takes green science. I'm going to get access to the online market. And I think after that, I might queue up the living quarters just to have it on there. So, okay, good. So if you see me pause really quick for no reason, mid thought and like squirrel, it's probably because I'm wasting science points. Okay. I don't want to waste science points. Okay. So we have 5 drills. Got all the silicon being made over there, iron being made over here. It's not that far away from the elevator. I'm trying to keep the storages relatively close to the elevator. I could have went this way with it, but concrete storage, that's the next thing I wanted to make. Concrete storage is going to be temporarily, I think I'm going to place it right here. And we're going to want to get belts from this one, bring it up this side, and bring it that way. And then this one will just right there. And then this one will be storage for concrete. Sun is up. All solar panels are active. With this many batteries, I want more panels, I think. If it'll let me have more. Let's add. Looks like this isn't actually debris. That's apparently not in the way, so I can add more here. So we'll go 1, 2. Nope. Nope. Oh my. We can do this. Calm down and click the right buttons. Solar panels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we also want to make sure they're all wired up. You can see that these 3 are built, but they're not wired. And if we come up here, it actually doesn't show me that there's a second grid. But we can clearly see that they're white in color, so they're not hooked up. So we want them to be hooked up to power as well. So let's go ahead and make sure those are all hooked up that way. We're going to have this hooked up in this direction, like so. And then these are going to go kind of a snake. We're going to go like this with it. And like that. Power does not pass through items that are pending construction. So we don't want them building these until these are done if possible. So we're just going to have them at least focus on those 3 first. Okay. Good. Let's get this storage in so that I don't have to babysit the belt. I'll actually go ahead and babysit the belt once, but I don't want to have to do that anymore. So now the iron that we're producing goes into this storage. Now we can expand these to more machines as we get bigger, and we know that this supports having 2 extractors, and so I definitely support having 2 of these. So was it this side? Yeah. So I'm definitely going to drop another one because I can, and we'll just hook that up like that. And then we want to get that hooked up power as well, so like that. There we go. This one was only supporting 1, so it is what it is. Okay, monthly report shows we don't have any debt yet. We don't have, saying yeah, I might take loans. We don't have any salaries to pay. We don't have any territory rent. That's apparently a thing now. Don't know. I guess we'll find out. And we also have some news of the month. I guess here, a live TV show cut off an astronomer mid-sentence after he mentioned a second moon. Okay. Was it named Minmus? Machines can break down as well. So modules need repairs. This will happen often, and it's going to be annoying. So there is a research for automatic repairs that will just take care of it for us. We don't have to select them to be repaired. I think I'm going to have that queued up on the bottom, actually, because it does get kind of annoying. And you know what? Maybe we'll push that above the pillar upgrade just so we can have that, because that's going to happen a lot. So we'll put that above the pillar upgrade. If I do that, the green part of this is going to go in here, and so will the blue, right? So it's all hierarchy based on where it's positioned and what science it needs. So in other words, if I place this here, green will go here, but not blue, because this is taking the blue. Hopefully that makes sense. I try to explain how this works. Sometimes people are confused on things. So that's why that is. So if I move this above, now both blue and green will go to this. The basics are covered, I think. At this point, the basics are covered. So I'm going to try my best not to state the obvious, but if you guys have questions, leave them in the comments. I try to answer them the best I can. I do have a little bit of experience in this game, so it's helpful when I play something I actually know for a change. Or at least play something I somewhat know for a change. I can't say that I'm going to be great at it, but at least I'm good enough to where I don't think I'll make too many huge mistakes. You know, small, tiny little things that where you would play differently than me. Sure, that stuff's going to happen, but I don't think I'll make any huge mistakes this time around. I remind you that it's not necessary to assign repair tasks to drone manually to activate the auto repair functionality. Yeah. Build an ore detector is what it wants me to do. So that's this thing right here. I'm just going to build it over here. We're going to get this thing hooked up to the elevator for now. Now this thing moves around, so we're going to be tearing this thing down. And remember, we only get partial refunds for the power. So we want to place this thing, if we can, whenever possible, like very close to power poles, because our cost to wire does go up the longer the pole is. And this thing's going to be torn down and moved around a lot. So, yeah. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Storage, it takes so long to get that, man, but it's going to be worth it. I know it. The tutorial wants me to make components. And the faster we get to this, the faster we start making money. But the faster I get to this...
Director, our operation requires a colossal amount of funds. The budget is stretched to its limits, and there are no new investments in sight. We need to come up with something urgently.
The faster I can really start getting things ramped up.
I have a solution to our problems, Director. We can establish trade with other organizations on the moon. This way, surplus resources are converted into money, which we currently lack. To send resources, we need a landing platform. And to access the market, we need to research the online market.
I swear, he looks just like Harvey, doesn't he? Come on, Suits. I think he does. He's got a little bit of that going on with him. That's the presence I get from him. I still do.
This is why you get paid the big bucks, Ledger. Great idea. Director, let's get started immediately.
Okay, so we got everything here, and
Research and construction will take some time.
Yep, I know. So we need to build a landing platform and get access to the market. We're already doing that. That's already in the queue here. The landing platform is here, and getting access to the market is here. So we're already doing those two things. I don't have to change anything. The ore detector is here. Now what happens is this thing pulls a lot of power from your battery while you use it. So we can't just go, ping everywhere. We're going to drain our battery, and then we'll not have any. So before I start pinging all over the place, I want to make sure that we're very stable. And it looks like I've got 1.4 million units of power capacity. So 40% might seem like we're not very full, but that's because I have a lot of power capacity. So 40% is probably enough to last us through the night. They ended up not building these, which is why I prioritized these ones, because they're in that whole little daisy chain thing here. Ended up not building them. I'll have them prioritize that one for now. I think that 40% is probably okay. We're going to ping once. And so we can see how our battery is charged and how much we're going to dip into it by hitting that button. See how much that's going to pull the battery down? It's gross. The longer out we go, the more power it takes, and it also narrows the cone. So let's look a little local here first, see if we can't find anything.
Objective achieved.
We found water and titanium very close together, and finding titanium is a prerequisite for CRUST to give us even more research. So 60 research for everything for 90 days.
Great job. Now build a components factory and supply with titanium and steel. I'm sure, Director.
It'll be an easy task for me, yeah. So water's great. I would love to find water really close to aluminum, though, because good money can be made from making fuel. Let's see what's over here. Nothing.
Director, here's the latest news regarding contracts. To resume shipments to Earth, we'll need to restore communication and significantly expand production. If we manage this in the near term, I'll negotiate an extremely lucrative contract with the aerospace company FASM. They've lost their supplier and are willing to pay generously for an urgent order. I'm still looking into the matter, but be prepared to devote all resources to this effort if you want to maximize the benefits. I'll return as soon as new information becomes available.
Okay, cool. Understood. All right, so we didn't find anything there. I'm going to hold off on scanning anymore because I don't want to drain the batteries before nightfall. We are getting fairly close to night, so let's just kind of chill for a little bit on that. We have both of our extractors running here, and we can see that this is starting to fill up a little bit. So when you start to see this number go up in the storage of this unit,
I consider it all
he's just walking me through how research is laid out. This is getting bigger, so that means that we have capacity to process more. This is also getting bigger, so we have capacity to process more. See how that goes? So I'm going to go ahead and put another furnace right here, and I'm going to go ahead and put another single regolith refinery here. But in order to do that, I need to have them dig this out. So diggers, come on over here and just focus on this little area right here for now. Okay.
Halfway there, but we still need a landing platform.
I know. Let's pause the game. I wish I could pause while I'm looking at the research screen, but I can't. So this takes green and blue, but we're still wasting green. It's because it's already given us all the green it needs, and there's nothing else green here. So I still need to add something here. I'm going to go and get the extended trade license. It's a long research, but what it does is it reduces the market commission. Whenever I buy things on the open market, I have to pay market rates. I have to pay commissions, and I don't want to do that if I can help it, right? The next level of this also makes using cargo pods cheaper, which is going to be very good. So I'm going to put that on the list there, and we can start using the green signs towards that for now. All right, we need to build the landing platform is what it said. I already have. Probably should move that above the power pole. I think so. So once automatic repair clears the list, it'll start working on this. And then once that clears, we'll go back to the electric pillar. I really want that electric pillar because that enables me to go medium solar panels, which is a huge jump in efficiency there, especially in regards to CPU capacity, which we'll, again, talk about in a later video because, well, everything takes CPU, put it that way. Everything takes CPU. Everything I build takes some CPU power. And when this caps out, I can't build anymore unless I build a data center. And I'm not at the stage of doing a data center just yet. So, we're going to go to single regolith refiner. Let's match up the ports. So green is going to the right. So I'm going to hit T to flip it. And we'll just go right there with it. Let's have that go there. And then this can come around. We could just put this... No, I think I want to combine them. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Let's go like this, and then we'll combine that like that. Keeping everything relatively short with the belts, because I'm probably going to delete all of it anyway, so yeah. Let's go ahead and make sure this is selected as silicon, and then you are going to put your supply into that storage bin, and we just need you hooked up to power. Now, there's limited connections on these power poles. The power pole connector, the power pole connection upgrade I'm doing is going to expand that a bit. But you'll notice I only have 3 out of 4 here. And I have 2 connections, so I have to make another pole anyway. So I'm going to place another pole there.
Research complete.
So automatic repair is done. I don't have to bother myself with what needs repaired and selecting to repair it. It's all going to be happening for me now. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of a discount on some of these poles, some of these wires. So I think you can go away. I think probably this pole is kind of in the way, to be honest. If I wanted to expand this way, well, I can't really, because yeah, we're just going to expand this way and that way with it. So I guess everything can stay exactly the way it is there, but now I've added the ability to connect both of these with this pole instead, and then I can get this pole here instead, like that. Okay. This research I'm doing will give me 5 connections on each pole instead of 4 retroactively, but it's not ready yet. All right, how much battery power we have? 11 days left, so we may run out of power tonight, which isn't a big deal. It just means we're going to have some time where we're not doing anything. It's not like anyone's going to die because there's nobody here, but eventually when people show up, we definitely don't want to be running out of power. This is no longer needed. This can go away. I don't need anybody assigned to that anymore. We have all of our solar panels built. Do I want to have more? I kind of do. I can't go this way without any more, like, yeah, I have to destroy everything. So I think I'll expand it. It might be a little weird, but I think I'm going to expand it this way. So we'll go about like this with it and make a whole new row.
You can't build here.
Like this. So it'll kind of go like this now. Snake around like that. Until we can salvage this stuff, that's kind of how I'm going to do it. So let's make sure that we're also prioritizing the correct ones. Landing platform. That's done now. So we'll get rolling mill and components factory on there, but I'll probably end up popping multi-regolith refinery in there as soon as the storage is done, because I can't select this until this is done. I think so. That's the only thing I need to do, right? Yeah, because I have the single regolith already. Yeah. Okay. Good. 6% left on the battery, so we probably are running out of power
Director,
tonight.
our energy reserves are almost at 0.
Yeah. It's okay. It's fine. Nothing bad will happen until we get people, and then something bad could happen, but it's fine. We currently have 2 days, 4 hours before dawn, and 1 day, 2 hours. So we're going to spend about a day in the dark here. No big deal. We have a lot of storage. We have a lot of resources and storage here too. So as long as we're building capacity out for additional power in the future, which we are, and I think that's, I can probably keep doing that because we're not going to have a whole lot else to do here. So let's just go ahead and finalize that row of solar panels, and that will definitely fill our batteries tomorrow. And then we won't have to worry about running out of power for a little while anyway. This is titanium, and we want to put an extractor on that too.
Research complete.
So we want to start extracting that if we could, although we could forego the extractor temporarily. The extractor requires 2 components. That's this resource here. If we want to hold off on that, we could take and just put a smelter down instead. And then just have a drone feed it in here for now. It's not a very, like, a super bad idea. Also, we have iron on this side. We want to keep iron and titanium fairly close to each other. So this is actually fairly good to have these 2 things really close. There's many more deposits though, so it's not necessarily, it's not a huge deal. And then silicates and stuff. We want to keep the slag. If we want to get all the slag closer to where we're processing this too. Eventually, it won't matter. Multi-regolith refinery, it'll make it to where it doesn't matter. All right, so there's our storage. I can add this to the list now at least. We're going to start working on components factory next. Should I can't use any power, right? Yeah, I don't have any power left to use. So the lights are going to go down now. We've run out of juice, but we can still use the stuff we've already produced. And so that's going to get us those 3 solar panels. And I think we're fine now. 150 out of 250 at this. The lower, the more easy difficulty gives you 300 capacity at the start. This gives me 200. Or 250. I assume that the epic story, the hardest, whatever, probably locks you to 200. So you need a data center even earlier. Ugh. I don't want to do that if I can avoid it right now. Although a little data center wouldn't be super bad. I could just have a little area with our data center. It wouldn't be super bad. And in fact, if I scanned this area and there wasn't anything over there, so maybe I could build the data center over here. But I like areas where there's nothing to extract because this is where I can process my multi-regolith stuff. I kind of want to figure out where that's going to be. An idea of where that's going to be, right? So power's back on. We've got, it says a 124, 159 surplus. This does fluctuate during the day. So it goes up as the sun gets more into the peak, right? So it's not like sun's up, you get max power. That doesn't happen. So over time, we will get more and more juice. I'm pretty confident we're going to be able to fill these batteries, but just because I'm going to add one more. Yeah, I'm going to add one more right here. And actually, I could probably just add the last one like in this little area right here behind it. It's fine.
Everything is ready for trading. To sell your surplus resources, go to the online market section of the control center. Now select market at the top of the... You can not only sell missing resources, but also buy them. Since we are currently trying to restore our budget, go to the sell tab. If you select an available resource on the left side of the screen, you'll see the fluctuations and its cost on the right side. To send a resource for sale, select the appropriate option.
Yeah, I got it. It's good. So we also want to take a look at supply and demand is the other thing he's going to say. So when I take a look at this, for example, we can see how the price has fluctuated over time. So right now might be a decent time to buy at 36, 37, as opposed to buying it when it's 51, 49, right? And a lot of these resources are like that. So if we take a look at some of these resources we know we're going to use in the future, if we see that the price is very low on those resources, for example, like robots, these are drones. I'd love to have more drones, right? If I think I can afford it, I can add one of these drones there to it as well. When we use this, we need to select a cargo pod. We pay for that pod. This one costs 1,600. This one costs 3,000. And the Petrol M costs 5,850. But they have different capacities. Before, in the last time we played this game, these things didn't matter. The costs didn't matter. They do now. Monthly reports keep popping up too, just to kind of show us things. I'm mostly going to skip these and just kind of click through them. They don't matter to me until I get a lot more advanced, and then they'll probably start mattering. Oh, you know what? I should probably do this too. Let's go and do that too. Yeah. You know, so they can both constantly operate as opposed to just one getting all of them. Yeah, should probably do that too. Okay, so titanium is here. We can extract it. I was talking about that earlier, but I think until we really have access to the components factory, which we're going to get 15 days, so maybe that is worth it for now, extracting this. I don't want them to bring the regolith out of this machine and bring it to one of these, though. I don't want that to happen, so I think temporarily I'm going to set up the smelting furnace for this first. Let's imagine where this is going to be first, though. Visualize where it's going to be. Can I only do one here? Come on, give me two. Let me have two. Oh, you suck. I think this is another. Yeah, this is another one where I can only have one. Ah, darn. I was looking forward to having a ton of titanium, man. We're just going to have to find more deposits. That's the way it goes. Yeah, we're just going to have to find more deposits. So we'll place that there. If we're going to do that there, since it's only one, we can upgrade the one, but it's only one. So We can probably process it very close by, like, you know, maybe here or something. So let's say we're gonna go like this. At most, right? If we bring this up to tier 3, then it's definitely gonna be fast enough to have these two working. So we would do that. So let's say that that's there. And then the smelting furnaces, let's bring it over on this side. Or maybe this way, because it's closer to iron. I kind of want to bring the iron around now to bring it over here now, but we'll just process it here for now. I guess that's fine. So it'll be, let's say, let's go there, and then we want a storage for it here. Yeah, that's all right. A storage right there. Then we can have the storage come out this direction and process components with it. Rolling mill probably this way, actually, and then the components would be on this side. So it goes out this way for one resource and out this way for the other. Unless I want this to be balanced. If I want this to be balanced, the outputs for the storage you have to basically only have one output. It's kind of bugged because if you have two outputs for a storage, the thing does not disperse them evenly. I don't know how it determines how it wants to disperse them, but it doesn't do it evenly. So let's put the storage here instead, like right here instead. Normally don't like blocking an output, but I know I'm not going to go that way, so yeah. So we'll go that way with the storage. That way, this way can go for components manufacturing with the iron, and this way can go for the rolling mill and stuff, just to making the plate. Okay, so that's the layout of how we'd want to do that, and I guess I can just do it now. I was gonna wait, but you're like, why wait? Just do it. Actually, we are filling our batteries very fast, so I'm actually gonna take this opportunity because of that to use a little bit of that power and see if I can't find additional water, or aluminum would be great. So more iron over there is pretty good. I'd love to find aluminum somewhere near this water. That would be awesome. More silicon. Okay, so they're kind of grouped together. I mean, that's not entirely uncommon. I suppose that would make sense from a realistic perspective that these resources would be somewhat closer together. Come on, give me something. Nothing. Wow. Okay. Let's not use all the power, but we're able to fill those batteries pretty well. So I'm pleased with it. I think we're definitely good for power as we expand into working with titanium. Do we have enough components? We have 3 components left, and the components is already delivered for these 2 things. So it's just the concrete we're waiting for now. All right, well, that's easy. We just, dig and then get it. Dig and then get it. Yeah, all this stuff here. You can load all of this stuff. Let's tell them to do that. Let's get them to maybe prioritize the storage here. So they're going to kind of take some time and clear the floor of all the regolith that's around. Try to fill this up. Get these pressers working faster. It looks like maybe we could have a 3rd presser. I would love to get to smart concrete, and that is close, isn't it? Isn't it engineering? Right here. So after components factory, we go here. This is where I really want to get to. This is the more longer term concrete production that we'll have instead of the presser. Yeah, and then there's high-tech factories, and there's a lot of question marks down here. Now, this update, in case, we're maybe getting closer to the end of the video here, so you might be curious, what kinds of big stuff happens in New Horizons? Well, this update features outposts. You can have outposts that are doing things for you. I don't know how it works. I've never done it before. We're going to do it live. We're going to experience it with you. That's cool. But you can have different structures and, kind of build other bases around the moon. Because the moon is a big place. And we can actually travel all over this. We're going to be doing all sorts of stuff all over the moon. Even on the dark side. Yep. So there's lots of stuff to come there. Lots of stuff to do there. Lots of people to help hopefully. People to leave behind because they're just too inconvenient. There'll be a lot of those decisions to make probably.
Research complete.
Electric pillar upgrades done. So that leads me to want to get to that. Yeah. So medium solar panel will now start sucking down the blue juice. There we go. Components factory is almost done. The components factory is going to use iron. Yeah, it's iron and titanium to create components. So knowing that, where are we going to set that up at? I mean, right here makes sense. We just belt it out to here, and then we have that produced right here with the iron.
Research complete.
Okay, there's the components factory done, and there's a start on the rolling mill. I think that's a good idea, but then I do want to go multi-regolith right after that, I think. Maybe we go... There's no reason to go fuel generator if I don't have fuel. I haven't found aluminum yet, so that's that. We could go expedition. We could. After the solar panels, probably a good idea to get the expedition control center up and running. Alternatively, with blue science, I don't think I need a smelting upgrade. I want smart concrete. I know it's all engineering. Everything I want is in the engineering section. But I want it. I'm going to put it on there. I want it. Blue is going to be active for quite a while. Maybe we queue up something green. Extended trade license. So we could go extended tender. That might be all right. If I find aluminum, I'm definitely going ice extraction. I'll add the living quarters just because it's going to be something useful to get in the event that I want to build my data center. Then I can just get the living quarters because you need to build that indoors. All right, guys, what are you doing? Can you guys just take a second and build these, please? You're kicking my ass here. I know you're like, oh no, we want to do other things. No, I want you to do this. Okay. I made this your big priority. I know. I did. You're doing what I told you to do. I get it. But it's time to go to work here, okay? This right here is a big priority right there. That power pole needs to be done. Otherwise, these stuff can't work. All right. How full are you getting? 365. So you're about 10% full on your slag. You're less than that. If I connect these two together, where's the smart concrete going to go? Smart concrete's going to get set up wherever it makes sense relative to where my regolith refineries are set up. Let's move this. I think I want to move this to somewhere else. Move it over maybe into this area. Maybe I'll move it over right here instead, and we can scan this side. Because I haven't scanned anything over here yet, and I'd like to know if there's any chance of that being a thing for me. So, ore detector. We'll slap it right here for now. Do a really short wire to that. We'll start scanning this area a little bit. I just don't see anything over here. So this is a great spot, I think, for my multi-regolith setup is probably right here. In general, I want to bring all the regolith out away from the elevator, process it, and have all the final resources that are made close to the elevator. I think is in generally how I would want to do this. But we're going to bring it up above ground anyway. So I have 18 days. 18 and a half days left of power and 6 days left of 7. I guess that's basically 7 days. So more than double of what I need here. Great. It just means I have the capacity to expand. It just means I can add more machines and it'll be fine for power. Yeah, titanium's through there. So components, let's go. We'll flip it. And I don't know if this is a final place for components. It's probably not. So I think maybe, do we just do one machine for now? It does look like I can actually handle having more smelting furnaces, doesn't it? It sure does. You know? It's really looking that way. I think we can have more than one smelting furnace for this iron. Gosh darn it. You're kind of filling up, aren't you? Just get that flowing right into there. For the steel, not the iron, the steel. There we go. So now we'll be able to make even more of it. That's neat. And then maybe I go with extractor upgrade because there's 2 deposits now that I can only get 1 on, so I could upgrade them. That's not a bad idea. Maybe that's how I spend it. Instead of the living quarters, we put the upgrade on there. It's right here. It takes engineering, a lot of it, but it's something else for it to work on with green. So I think maybe we'll go like that. All right. We have the power, so let's scan it. Show me aluminum. That was very anticlimactic. I was really thinking that was going to happen. Go. There is nothing here. You kidding me? Holy cow. There's a whole lot of nothing. I'm shocked right now that there's nothing out here. Holy cow. What is this game doing to me right now? Did you put it's randomly generated every time you start a new map. So you don't know where they are until you find it. Wow. This is kind of brutal. I have 15 days left. Yeah. I shouldn't have 15 days left now. I've scanned a lot. More iron. So no water, no aluminum. You're kidding me. Wow. We're in trouble. We're in a lot of trouble. Not having those resources nearby is gonna be a big pain in the ass. Now I have 6.2 days left, so I have almost went too far. Yeah. But we're still good. Still not gonna run out of power tonight. Did I just like not mark this or what? I thought you guys were supposed to do things that made sense. This isn't making sense. Let's see. So you're gonna do all this over here. So yeah, this is iron here. We can get that in as well. We got iron here, so we can get that hooked up too. Lots of rare earths. That's what this red area is. It's hard rock, rare earths, and we can't work that without research, but it's okay. So extra silicon over here is nice because I can keep the silicon belts together, but when I go multi-regolith, it won't matter anyway. And I mean, the resources have got to be over here. I feel like they have to be. So I'm gonna put this ore detector. You have a spot available. I'm gonna put this ore detector over here now. Because remember, with distance, it costs more. So I want it to kind of be closer to the side I'm scanning. So we'll move it over on this side and we'll get some more information on anything that might be over here, because there ain't shit over here, man. This is definitely where I'm going to set up my multi-regolith area, though. Like, we're going to have this whole thing be a major ore processing area, probably. That way I can have all the resources kind of popping into one belt, sending over here. We can process everything right over here. And then directly above this, so right about here, above is about here. So we're going to want to keep this area clear of building things, because we most likely need to come up in this area when we bring things to the surface. So expedition center could be here if it lets me build there. Last time I played this game, they wouldn't let me build on this side, probably because of the mountains here, I guess. But we could also maybe just put it where the other ones were. That's a vehicle bay. I don't know what that is. That's the flight control center. And that's the expedition center. So this is about how big the expedition center is going to be. And we don't want it to be here. So we're probably going to set it up over here. That way the resources can come up from the elevator that we're going to build. We can bring them up here and send them over on this side. So just thinking out loud, thinking ahead. If you like this video, you know what to do. If you want to see more of this series, you know what to do. This has been my start to the CRUST, the beta for New Horizons. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Come on back for the next one if you want to see more. Okay? Bye-bye.